All right. Hey, Jordan, sorry about that. It's been a little while. So, um, so again, I just want to start by thanking everyone for joining us today and taking the time to learn about our program. We appreciate that, and we're looking forward to giving you, some information about the program, introducing ourselves here, a little brief history, what the program does, what it's intentioned to do, and benefits to yourself to join it. And then, of course, important thing, how to join it. So, with that, again, my name is Adonis Fuller. I'm with the City of Champaign, of course. My title is Purchasing and Compliance Specialist, and I am housed in the Finance Department, and I work very closely with our Equity and Engagement Department. And alongside me today is
Mikal Washington, Community Relations Specialist in the Equity and Engagement Department. And as Adonis mentioned, we work very closely on this program and, putting together the initiatives and all of that. And so I'll hand it over back to Adonis to get us started.
So, again, so today with the Champaign Diversity Advancement Program, or CDAP, as we will refer to it, we are going to discuss, what the program does, the program goals and benefits, and then again, how to join. So, in giving a little bit of background about the program, it was really, it's one of the methods the city utilizes to support the Equal Opportunity in Purchasing Ordinance that was established by the city. So some key goals in that are to help ensure non-discriminatory hiring practices, help promote equal employment opportunities, and then also to help ensure good faith efforts. And that's both internally and externally. So, within our policies and procedures, the city wants to also exhibit those good faith efforts on our behalf, and not just, in what we expect of those that we're contracting with. So, we are doing as we say. So, as we're getting into it, you may be asking, what is CDAP? What does it do? So we do have some key points here, but overall, the objectives of the program are to, we're looking to increase the usage of socially and economically disadvantaged groups in helping build capacity and the ability to, bid and, propose on issue solicitations and just really increase that involvement. And then we also look to establish utilization goals on projects that are issued, as well as workforce participation goals. So those are all things that are kind of intertwined within our policies and procedures, and we'll touch on how that works in a little bit. But in keeping with, just some of the objectives of the program, another main point, and we hope you'll join our program. And again, Mikal will touch on this a little later. But another goal is to maintain a diverse listing of firms on the CDAP list, because we do encourage our departments to look at our CDAP list, and then also any general contractors as well, because that is one of the ways that we can push good faith efforts on meeting goals that are set on projects. Before I get too far in, I also wanted to mention that it is free to join the program. So it does not cost you any money to join the program, just a little bit of time and completing an application process. And again, we'll touch on that a little bit later, but again, it is free to join. So as I touched on previously, not only do we want to encourage good faith efforts in purchasing externally, we also want to do that internally as well. So we have incorporated CDAP into our purchasing policies and procedures. My role with the city actually was created to help do this, which is why I'm actually housed in the finance department to help give some teeth to to CDAP in the reviewing and approving of CDAP goals on projects for approving and or for approval for the awarding process. So you'll see there, departments do consult the CDAP list for potential vendors to encourage bidding or proposing. They also work with me. Actually, when a solicitation is being issued, the first step in the process is to reach out to me to see, I'm going to look for what are the specifications for the program or the project or the purchase. And then that information is used to then set the goals, if it's going to be subcontracting on a project, if it's going to be workforce participation, if it's going to be both. And in some instances, is it just good faith efforts? So it's, from the outset, CDAP is a part of the process. And then again, at the end of it, those goals and those proposed methods to meet goals or good faith efforts are also reviewed for approval as well. So that would again be some of our internal, but then like I mentioned before as well, we also want to encourage, general contractors on projects to also utilize to help us meet those CDAP goals. So again, when those goals are set on projects, our CDAP vendor list is one way that general contractors can meet those goals. They can reach out to the CDAP list. They can search vendors based on, the different categories that the businesses offer and products and services, so that they can be involved on those projects. Right now, we do track MBE and WBE participation for subcontracting. And then minority and female participation for workforce goals. And again, good faith efforts are also something that can be reviewed in the process to award. So not being able to meet the goals in full doesn't prevent you from being able to, the vendor from being able to be awarded, at this point, because they are goals. But we really like having good faith efforts also because we feel like they are a method to help encourage and help build that capacity in different areas. Whether it be, helping with bonding, licensing, bone and materials, those types of things. Those are all some of the examples of good faith efforts that also exist that can be beneficial in helping build capacity. And again, they do have to, those goals are reviewed and must be approved before a vendor can be awarded. So there's some teeth to the process. And touching on some of the good faith efforts, and I know you can see them here, but just to touch on them quickly, we in our bids and RFP solicitations, there will be affirmative action forms. The CDAP form will also be there as well, so that way vendors can see or potential bidders or proposers can see what the goals were that were set on the project and what needs to be met. And again, one very easy, reasonable, good faith effort is reaching out to the CDAP list and connecting with businesses to bid, to be a part of your bid or proposal. So a big reason to join the CDAP list there. And some additional good faith efforts, again, just additional methods that I can approve a CDAP form with would be, direct employment. So business, they may not be able to meet the goals fully, but they may have internal programs that support similar things that CDAP does. Yeah, they may make contributions to, city training and development fund, which would be, monies directed at programming that we would, do through equity and engagement. Some things we've done, for example, networking events. Um, we've held contractors breakfast, just giving us the ability to kind of just cover some things, changes to forms, just things to make the process more efficient, and keep the community in the loop on what's going on. Assisting firms with supplies, equipment, those types of things. Trying to think of what else. Job fairs, job postings that are specifically done, on sites that really encourage diversity and inclusion, those types of things. Those are all additional areas of good faith efforts that can be included and reviewed to help approve the CDAP efforts. So we've touched on, a little brief history about it, supporting the Equal Opportunity and Purchasing Ordinance, the goals and objectives of the CDAP program. Hopefully through some of this so far, you may see where it could be beneficial to join, but I'm going to turn it over to Mikal to touch on the benefits of joining and to also go over the process of joining as well. And then again, just remember, it's no cost to join, just a little bit of time. So with that, let me turn it over to Mikal.
So as Adonis mentioned, I'll be going over some of the benefits of joining CDAP. So as he mentioned previously as well, it's no cost to you all. So it is a free program. All it takes is an application. And once you submit all of your documents and we go over and review everything, then you're granted your certification immediately after. So it's not a long process as well to get CDAP certified. And some of the other benefits, just for you all to think on, are the exposure opportunities to general contractors, city departments, the community, and external partners as well. There are some other cities that utilize our CDAP list for their purchasing and procurement processes as well. And so that, it's a great opportunity just for exposure. We also share pertinent information from SBDC, EDC on the CDAP platform as well. And so you can get, access to or information on webinar series that are taking place, events. If there are general contractors wanting to share information, then we do share that information to all of our CDAP vendors as well. And then there's also the opportunity, if you just are working on a personal project, then you can see the business categories that, some of the businesses have and local organizations or local businesses that can assist in that area as well. Me and Adonis talked over this a little bit as well, and it's something that we hadn't considered previously, there is a less strenuous good faith effort process. And so you still have to turn them in. Let me clarify that you still have to turn them in, but there are certain requirements as being on the CDAP list that you can show by submitting your application. And so if you're an MBE on a project and you're not able to meet the WBE goals, being CDAP certified will still allow you to reach some of those good faith efforts as well. So now we'll talk about some of the application materials that are required on our end. So first and foremost, proof of membership in the group certification is sought. So birth certificate, passport, driver's license, real ID, or any affiliation in organization specific to the socially disadvantaged group. So that covers varying areas as well. We do ask also if you have certification with another organization, such as the state, such as federal certification, then we do ask that you submit it is not required, but it's good to show as well. Proof of business and ownership type. So if you have your articles of incorporation, business registration, or just some other form of legal documents showing that you are the 51% owner of your business. And then we also ask that you provide your good services information. So what do you do? Professional services offer, construction or perform, other business expertise. And so there is a section in the application that covers business categories. So we do ask that you list all of your business categories. And we also ask that they match your certification. So this again is more information on the registration process. So please list your location, where you're operating, ownership information as we covered previously, some form of legal document showcasing that you're at least a 51% owner of the business. And then we do ask that that information match the certification being requested again. Business categories I covered, so please select all that apply. Business legal type, so that's just the information that you put on your W-9, and then certification being requested. So whether that's MBE, WBE, or VBE, we do ask that you clarify that information for us. So this is just an example of how your business will be showcased on the CDAP vendor list as individuals are searching. So it will list your business name, who to contact, your business category. So this is why it's so important that you list all the categories that your business aligns with, because you may be, as you can see, for one of the companies there, it says air conditioning supplies, but then it also says painting supplies. So depending on what the general contractor is looking for, if your business falls within that category, then that is the list that will populate. So that's very important, and we try to key in on that for businesses and letting them know anything that your business does or any area which your business covers, please list it here. And then they're also able to see your certification status. So they're able to see what certifications you have and when they expire. What will not be shown here is your business information. So any initial investments or anything of that nature, business roles, they won't be able to see that. So this information here is what will populate as general contractors and city departments are looking at the CDAP list. And then we do ask that you subscribe to the city's invitation to bid and RFP notification system. So this is just again another opportunity for you to stay up to date on city bids and RFPs. If you go to our city website, champaignil.gov, and you go to online services, there are varying resources there for you. And so you can click on the bids and RFP icon, and you can see the result of past bids. There's a vendor self-service, so you can get registered with the city as a vendor. So that is a little bit different than CDAP. And so if there are opportunities within certain departments to do certain things, then you have the opportunity to be a city vendor already. It also has access to our equal opportunity purchasing ordinance, so you can see the entire document there. You can also see how to start, grow, and manage your business on that page as well. And it has a list of resources out there, SBDC, EDC being some of those resources that you can connect with. And then the email subscription list, so you can get access to department news, press releases, bid and RFP statuses, and newsletters. So that will close us out. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and Adonis. Both of our information is up there, and you can contact us directly. And then there's also a QR code that will take you directly to the application. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for letting us speak for 20, 30 minutes about our program. And we are open for questions.
I did have one more thing to add, just in case anybody was wondering. So when that initial period that you are on the CDAP list, it is a 3-year. It's good for 3 years initially, and then and then you would get a notification from the platform itself, ahead of time to renew. And that's just a way to make sure that, maybe if there was a name change, location, change, or maybe you add a new category to a product or service that you offer. That's at that point, we're just looking for those things before that renewal takes place. So just in case you're wondering, it's good for the 3 years initially. And no cost to you except for that time.
Yep. So just to add on to Adonis's point, it is good for the 3-year period. ePrism will send you a notification directly when your certification is about to expire. And then after that initial contact through ePrism, I personally will go in and check to see if there are any expirations upcoming, and then I'll notify you through the ePrism system as well.
Thank you so much. The only question right now we have is actually just kind of more of a technical question. It asks if the webinar will be available, and yes, it will be. I will send out a follow-up email with a PDF version of the PowerPoint, so you'll have the QR codes that were shared and everything like that. And then you'll also get a link to the recording, and then it will also go on our YouTube. So if there's someone that you want to share it with, another local business owner, or anything like that, you will have access to do that as well. So we'll wait here for a minute and see if we get any questions. I know a lot of it will be very specific to your business and what you offer. So if you have any questions about you specifically, please don't hesitate to reach out to the city and connect with them directly about any of that. They're always happy to help. And then of course, here at our office, we do have an Apex Accelerator now. Our director, Kelly, is actually on today's webinar. So thank you for joining us, Kelly. But she can always support you in things like this as well, getting you connected with different bid opportunities and things like that. So we can support you here as well as the city. All right. Well, I don't see any questions coming in. I know today's session was a short one, but we do appreciate the city's team for joining us here today and presenting on the CDAP program. Thank you to everyone who joined us. Again, that follow-up email will go out later this afternoon, so be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, I hope everyone has a great day, and we hope to see you at our next session.
Thank you all again.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.